t-shirt here, and what I want to do is create a really spectacular neckline. And as you can see, it's very, very cute. Now, how did I do this? Rewind and let's get started. And what I want to do is not necessarily get lower in this area here, but what I want to do is create a really nice big neckline, and then we're going to put in a ribbon, or you could put in a little bit of jersey, you could make your own little rouleau loop. A million things to do. We're going to think about that once we're done. The first thing to do is to find the center of your t-shirt. You can do that by measuring across, or you could just fold it in half. I'm just measuring across, and I have got 38 here, which means it's 19. So if I go to 19 and mark it, that is exactly where I've got half of the t-shirt. And what I want to do to make it easier is to have that little slit. The slit will automatically come if I'm, just going straight down. So what you want to do is take your trusty tape measure, and you want to measure down from the top. I think about 3 centimeters is probably fine, because it's going to end up a little bit bigger because of the seam allowance. So I'm going to mark across where we've got the 3 centimeters. So it's not one of your t-shirt videos which takes 5 minutes, but I think it's worth it. You know why? Because t-shirt fabric, if you went into a shop, it probably cost you a lot more than a t-shirt, and at least you've got the basic shape there, and you don't have to rely on somebody creating a pattern that's perfect, right? So that's done. Now we want to come out as well a little bit on the shoulder, so you need to kind of measure yourself and see where you actually would want it to sit. So in my case, I'm going to right where that bone has a curve on this side, and I'm going straight across to that side. Okay, so for me that would be 30 centimeters, I think that's probably okay. 30 centimeters for April as well. So that would mean 15 from the center. So I move that across. So I've got the center there, and I'm just going to quickly mark that on here and on there. And now comes the interesting part. I'm just going to see where I want to go first, like that, probably like a little boat. I'm just gonna draw that in here like that, and coming out that way as well, just so I know a little bit. And now I'm going to turn all this down as well, so I probably need this a tiny bit longer. I actually need to go down to 5. That's pretty low, isn't it? Anyway, so because we're going to turn this in, it's going to come out shorter. So on the shoulder, I'm going to add to this 2 centimeters to this point, and 2 centimeters to the other side. And when we folded that in and we make our little tunnel to put our ribbon through, that you still have a little bit showing at the top, which is then curling up really nicely. So you could go for 2.5. I'm going to go for 2 here. And I'm just going to now draw this in from here to there. You don't need to overthink this. This is really, really simple and so cute. And I can almost cut this off now. Get in there bravely. I'm just going to cut straight in here, and I'm going to cut along this line. There we are. And I'm going to cut all of this off and then come up the other side. I actually really love doing this sort of thing, because you can learn a lot from this, and it always makes you think on how clothes are made, and if you were a designer, what you could do. So the back now, I don't want that to be quite as low, so I can transfer what I'm doing, but I'm just going to go a little bit higher than that. Yeah, so I've still got the front a little bit lower. Okay, like that. Done. Cut that off as well. There we go. Right, so this can go in the bin. We don't need this anymore, and I've got my beautiful, beautiful neckline. And all I have to do now is to serge this edge all the way around. Now we want to overlock this. And I'm actually pulling it a little bit as I come out this end here. All the way around. Right. Now we come to the next part, and that is just making this look all really nice and flush. And what we're going to do is take another little bit of a t-shirt, and it always helps if you've got an old t-shirt at the ready that you can use for that. And I've got here one of my trusty t-shirts. Actually this one that doesn't have holes in it. I was gonna sacrifice one. This doesn't have holes in, so I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use another t-shirt I got myself, which is really big, so I've got plenty. Whenever I want to make something, then I can use this little baby here. So all I need to do is cut myself a little square like this. Okay, just something so I have what I would call a facing. So that will help me with this. And if you've got some spare white, I always have spare black jersey, never have spare white. Right, sides facing. And we're just going to sew down on either side, and then we just turn it and we trim it and we stitch it down. And we're also going to overlock that a little bit. So all you have to do is take a few pins, and just so you can all see it, you can clearly see this through, otherwise you would have to redraw it. I'm now going to sew this one in, and then I can turn it, and I've got this really cute front. And if I decide it's not really deep enough, at that point I could sew deeper down as well. And I'm going a little bit over here. You want to secure your stitches. There we go. And I'm going to work down just a little bit lower than what I've got here. Slowly get lower and lower and lower, and lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. You might want to also put your stitch length down a bit so that it doesn't fray out. So I'm just going to do the last little bit here on one. There I am. Turn this all around so I can come back up the other side. Beautiful. This is going to be really cool. And then I can get my stitch length back up to 2.5, and oops, and the needle must be in the fabric. And all the way back up. So that's done. My next step now is, as you can see, I've got here all of this done. I'm not going to actually cut this open now. I'm going to see how close I can get with my overlocker on this. I could have done this first, but I didn't, so I'm just going to do that real quick. And now I'm just going to cut into this, and then I'm going to turn it to the other side and top stitch it. So I'm going to cut right to that tip here. There we go, right to the tip. See? Easy! And now I'm just going to turn it to the inside. And you can see, maybe I could have even left a little bit more standing here. I can cut this back a little bit more. So simple this is. And then I've got like only a tiny little bit standing, and I'm going to top stitch that down and stitch it down. Right, I'm just going to sort of line it up with one of my lines on my presser foot and stitch it down. And there we go, I've sewn it in, and actually I think it looks really nice. This is really no worse than you would get from a shop. It's nicely done, and it's so simple. It's basically cutting yourself a little square, marking where you want to go, sewing it on right sides together, and then cutting away. And now I've got a really nice opening there that's a little bit woo. So now I need to take this, and I'm going to turn this in 2.5 centimeters, because I think actually it probably needs it, so I would do 2.5 if I was you. Once you start, sometimes you think actually 2 centimeters could be a little bit slim, because you're not going to stitch right on the edge of your overlocking. You're going to stitch like here, aren't you? So you actually need that little bit extra. So I'm going to now put pins in all the way around. I've already got some in, as you can see. And this would be super cute, and it's very simple. And if I saw this in the shop, I actually would buy it. And a lot of the time, when there's a little bit of detail on a t-shirt, all of a sudden it's like a massive amount of money, and you just think, well, it shouldn't be a massive amount of money just because it's got like a little bit of something on there. You can stretch this. You don't need to worry about stretching too much, because it's jersey and we are going to put in a little ribbon anyway, so, or something else. This is absolutely fantastic. I really love this. I wish it was for me. I have to make one like this for myself as well. We're going to create a tunnel, and we're going to stitch 2 stitching lines, and one of them is going to be right on here on your overlocking, and then one is going to be a little bit up, and it depends on what you want to put in. So if you want to put a ribbon in, you need to make sure that it's enough space for your ribbon with about 2 millimeters to move, right? So we're going to go up as well. So in my case, that will be a gap of 0.7. I need a tunnel of 0.7 centimeters. There you go. And anyway, for everybody working in inches, I've turned it in an inch. I'm going to secure my stitches, of course, and now I'm going to stitch right on my overlocking all the way around. If you pin this way, you don't even need to look at the side, but if you wanted to, it is well, it looks a little bit like it's not, well, not quite 2.5, so just under an inch, but it's okay because I'm stitching a little bit up on it into the overlocking, so, or serging, and that's accounting for that little bit here that you can see on the presser foot. Just need to make sure it's round. Ooh, this is going to be so nice. April's going to love this. Let's have a look at this lovely neckline and see what that's like. By now I can take all my pins out, and wow, I think that's really lovely. Even if you left it just like this, that would be great. Now I'm going to give this a quick press, make sure my iron is working. Give this a bit of a shimmy. American iron turns itself off. Great if you leave your iron on and go on holiday. Not so great when you want to work and you have to turn it on again every minute of the day. It really annoys me. So now we're going to just press this real quick just to make sure we've got a really nice line, and if you ironed in any pleats you'd see it before you do the second line, and you could then still change it. Ooh, this is nice. This is nice. I like it. Wow. Whew. Cool. I mean, I almost feel like you could leave it like that. So I think making a t-shirt, and when you don't have that scoop in there for this style, I had a particular thing in mind, of course, but when you just want to get a bigger neckline, I think that would actually be really lovely just on its own, just stitched through. That would just be a nice big neckline, and it holds nicely because as you fold it in, you have got less room to go, and so the thing actually looks really cool. Anyway, but in my case, I am going to continue on because we are going to put this little tunnel in, and I'm going to do a second stitching line, and that stitching line is now just going to be, let's look at this, up from what I've got. So I have a little bit standing at the top, and in my case, let's have a look, that's ears in centimeters, that's like a centimeter, and for everyone that's working in inches, that's 3/8 of an inch, and also it will be presser foot width. Watch it. And I've extended my stitch length to 3. Actually, I don't want it to look too boxy. There we go. So my stitch line is just next to the presser foot, not directly on it, and I'm thinking that is going to be perfect. Well, let's hope it takes me to the end. Beautiful. I do really like this. Can you tell? Right, so now we're going to Sirens in Los Angeles. Don't get worried, there's nothing going on that isn't going on every day. So you can put a little ribbon through now, and I'm actually thinking whether I should do a color. I mean, you could put anything through here. Like, look, I've got that, like this really cute little ribbon. You don't have to put like something through like this, but wouldn't that be just like gorgeous, right? You could even stitch something like this onto your t-shirt. I think there's so many ways to lift your t-shirts and make it a little bit nicer. So I just need to find a safety pin. There we go. And with a bit of luck, it's big enough to go through here. So just for experimentation's sake, April might not like this, and she might want to change it. But I'm going to now thread through my ribbon to the other side. Oh man, this is going to be lovely, isn't it? Really nice. All you have to do is do it with a safety pin. So presser foot width, a little bit more than that, or presser foot width, that's what your average safety pin goes through. You can of course get a smaller safety pin as well. If you wanted to, you could do that. Oh, this is so nice. And if you wanted to do this for like your little girl, that would be really nice as well. You know, I would get a really big t-shirt that's a little bit too big for her, so that you have more to gather in. And then that would be really cool too. Oh, how cute is this? Right, I think that is the top done. I want to have a quick look at the sleeves, and the sleeves are really simple. What I find with most sleeves, and this is quite nice because it's higher up, that when a sleeve is very long here, it tends to hang too low there, and most really nicely done sleeves, like couture sleeves, would have a line which will go up like this. Okay, so this doesn't have this line, it's straight over. This also doesn't have that line. It's fine as long as it's short enough, and this is just I would say just almost a little bit too long, but not by much. So I won't cut into this too much. I'm just going to stitch this through again so that it's a wee little bit shorter. I think that'll be really cute. And I'm just going to stitch this through again, and then if you don't like it like that, or like April doesn't like it like that, she could always unpick this and it'll be okay again. So I'm using stitch length 3, just stitching on the edge here. Make the sleeve just a little bit shorter. That'll be fine. There we go. Secure your stitches. Wowee. Very nice, as you can see here. That is beautiful. This came out nice. It gives it something when it doesn't look like you've got the cover stitch on there just. So I'm now going to press the sleeve. And oh, well, I hope she liked this, because once you do this, then you know you can really transform fairly cheap stuff into something quite amazing. And that's it, t-shirt done. I think this is so nice. I would love to wear this, and I hope you're back next time when we're transforming another t-shirt or jumper. Bye for now.